Check out this new release. Welcome everybody back to Just Plain Crazy. I'm Brennan. Thanks for joining me yet again for another episode down in the lair. And that's right, we have a new release alert. This is the 850 millimeter P51 Mustang. This is an Arrows Hobby Mustang available over at Hobby Zone. We're going to put that affiliate link down in the description below. If you're interested in this thing, please use that link. Any little bit helps the channel out a lot. With that being said, let's talk about some of the cool things that you're going to get here. So first off, that's right, 850 millimeters. It's going to be the little sister to the 1100 millimeter. We'll put the little tag up there. So that way, if you're interested in something upsize, you can go with that one. That one was a really nice park flyer size. This one is going to be fantastic. So with that being said, what do we get with this bad boy? So first off, we're a little over 33 inches here, right? It's going to run on 3S. It's going to have a 30 amp ESC, comes with navigation lights, and also that super cool 4-blade prop. We love the 4 blades, 3 blades, more blades the better. But with that being said, we're going to have something also in here super cool for you. It's going to have vector flight controls. So what does that mean? We're going to have 3 different modes in this thing. So the first thing you're going to have is stability. So if you're upside down with this plane and you need to right side up, you're going to be able to let go of the controls and get that. Now we're also going to have dynamic. So dynamic is going to get you your gyro effect for wind gusts if you're not giving it that input. And then we also have the expert, which we could go ahead and flip it into expert and we get nothing. If we want to jump back, then we hit those switches and get back to the other 2 modes, depending on what your preferences. So if you're worried about losing a plane, you're going to have some help. But anyway, super excited. Let's dig in. Let's go. All right, what do you guys say we get this thing unboxed? Off goes the lid. All right, initial thoughts on packaging. Looks pretty good. Got some nice foam over the top of it. Things are taped in. They're normal. First piece of paperwork. Directions. Functionality, initialization, and calibration. So that's setting up our vector flight controls, right? Our stability system. Some backing for decals. So we got decals. These are definitely water slides, so you're going to have to put those on yourself. Destruction manual. Looks pretty standard. We'll go through that later. Let's get this stuff popped off. All right, we're going to cut open the tape. I'm really kind of excited just to have a nice light park flyer, toss it around, kind of airplane. Something that deals with wind pretty well for its size, right? We're not worried about actually taking this thing off and landing it in windy conditions. We'll see how that does with hand launching. So there's that. Right out of the gate is our 4-blade prop. Looks pretty neat. As always, I do encourage guys, like if you are a beginner especially, like nab a couple extra parts while you're there, right? So wings, we have a 2-piece wing design. Look how cute. So anyway, painted. We got some scale details and stuff in there. Painted on wingtip stripes, stuff like that. It looks like this one is tape. But they give you some panel lines and rivets, which is a nice little touch. And then there we have our navigation lights out at the end. How awesome. And then we have live hinges. You could see pre-installed servos and linkage on there, but it is a 2-piece wing. All right, so out with the 4-blade. A nice separator in between so we don't put indentations and stuff in the wings, which is cool. Carbon rod for, I would assume, our wing spar. Wing number 2 looks just like wing number 1, so this will kind of give you an idea of size, because that's about how big that fuse is. So nice little, you know, toss it around, go fly an airplane. Keep it in the trunk, back seat of your car, stuff that we could fly at a minute's notice. All right, in the inside, we have fixed landing gear that are just going to push in. These are a hard foam wheel, plastic inserts. They're pretty light. We have, what else we got here? Drop tanks. One drop tank. The other ones down in there are pretty good. Here's our horizontal, has a ball link there on the end. This has live hinges also, going to be single point control for those. It looks like a couple screws just hold it in, but that is all painted. Our fuselage. So this is this is the Lollipoop. Yeah. So as we do these reviews, you just never know the nose art on them, what they choose and why they choose them. But from the Tuskegee Fighter Squadron, the Lollipoop, and then you had the Lollipoop 2. But anyway, yeah, this I just it takes you back a little bit. But anyway, I absolutely love it. I love the choice. There you can see the motor on the inside. But again, really good panel lines. We got our push rods already installed. Canopy has a nice little lever right there to come off of that. And there you guys can see the inside. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. I like it. I like it. I like the choice. So there's the fuselage. Let's get the spinner out of here. We're still laughing. This stuff is awesome. I absolutely love doing reviews for you guys. So we have our spinner in the front. Little just snap in. There's no screws or anything for that for the 4-blade. So if you are a beginner and you think you're going to beat this thing up a little bit, I would get yourself a spinner and a prop, because if you nose it hard, I mean, this stuff's just plastic. I could see it breaking. It's light, which is nice because it's not going to do a ton of damage if you're a learning pilot, not very good with how you land. And if you're not great with landing, you can damage anything. So with this stuff, there's a couple things. Always pick up a couple little extras, and then you don't ever have to worry about it. Let's get this other drop tank out. So that ends it with this thing. That's out the way. Here's our other drop tank. So we got our drop tanks here. Now what I'd like to do is let me get this all spread out on the bench, and we'll do a once over. All right, let's get our once over done. So again, 2-piece wings. Here is the bottom, here is the top. Live hinges, you can see all the panel lines, the detail, the rivets, painted on pieces, the navigation lights out at the end. On the bottom, you can see they use colored tape, like a lot of the manufacturers. Got ourselves, guess, a little pitot tube right there, pre-installed servos, and linkage, ball links. Drop tanks, looks like they'll just notch right in, so you can take them on and off pretty easy. Carbon tube for the wings. Neat 4-blade prop. Painted, or fuselage de Lollipoop. Still love it. Anyway, here's the quick release. Nice hard plastic latch. There's our canopy. Pre-installed pilot, little cockpit panel in there. You can see our connectors and stuff for the wing, so we'll probably just set this up and leave it. Pre-installed servo in there for rudder and elevator. So there's the elevator, rudders on the inside. You can see our little motor right there, 1300 kV 3S. We have our horizontal, and then we have our wheels. So those will just notch right in. Spinner, hardware. Make our way over to our water slides and our destruction. So with that being said, that's our once over. Let's get a time lapse done on this. This should be fairly simple to talk through our time lapse, and we're going to get this thing out to the field. Here we go. Time lapse for install. Step number 1, insert the carbon tube. Now we're going to insert the wings. Get your harness, push it up into the inside and over your carbon tube. Repeat for side 2. Install the 4 screws for the bottom of the wing. Now we're going to mount the horizontal stab. This will only slide in one way. You can't slide this through the plane, so it goes from left to right. Install 2 of the longer screws. Let's install our landing gear. These will just put the pin in and turn until they click into place. Tank drops, push into place, and slide back. Let's install our prop. The spinner cap is a tight fit, but just work at it. You have to get it over the backside edge of the propeller and work it down in, but it'll go without any trimming. That actually looks really clean. We have to get our elevator linkage installed, so they will actually give you directions in the book in which holes. That recommendation is going to be to put this into the hole second from the outside, or second one in from the outside on the elevator horn, and then just click it on. Now with the landing gear, so you don't lose it in flight after a takeoff, maybe it's a little bumpy or something, you can always take a little bit of canopy glue and just put a couple drops on there. When it hardens, it gets kind of like rubbery, so that'll prevent that stuff from wanting to fall off on you. All right, let's talk about some very important things as you set up your vector. So first things first, we always initialize a throttle cut. Some people wait to put the prop on. That's fine. I put mine on, and as soon as I get mine set up, first thing I do is throttle cut, right? So you can see everything works there. We have no throttle, so that's good. The next thing you need to do is make sure that you follow the servo assignment steps in here. 1 aileron, 2 elevator, 3 throttle, 4 rudder, 5 your gyro. So once those are assigned in here, then you can assign them to whatever switches you want, but that's the way that the servo assignment needs to be set up. So that's that. And you can see how I have mine all plugged in right there. All right, that's the receiver I have. I wish I had smaller ones, but that's the one I'm using. Now, as far as the battery, check this out. We have this nice sliding tray right here to put your battery on. There is Velcro down there, and you do have straps. I found the straps to be a little cumbersome, so I'm going to pull them out. There's Velcro here, and when you push the battery in, it goes under the nose. Plus, you have this holding it in. It's not going to go anywhere. Straps aren't needed. So those got to go. We're going to balance this thing next. Check this out. They put the CG marks there. I always use the little fuzzies so it's easy to find. We don't need our Chikoi CG jig for this. So for a small park flyer like this, that would definitely be overkill. But anyway, get your battery set on the tray where you need. Make a mark on it. And everything else is set up. And let me show you what I mean by setup. So we have our receiver tucked in there. Right now, as far as the gyro, I have my settings off. So it does nothing. Now we go up into safe mode. And the safe mode, You know, obviously that verbiage is copyrighted by somebody else, but we call it stability here. So you'll notice that if you hold this thing, because it's going to self-right you all the time, and it's going to look to help you as a beginner. So if I look at that way, all right, that's the way we should be. The wings down, flap is down. The aileron, I should say. So that's the way you want that to go, but it'll hold there. So with the tail, you could see that if I point the nose up, that goes down. I point the nose down, that goes up. So we know that control is okay. And the rudder, you can wiggle and see the same effect. So I know my controls are right. So that is our stabilization mode off. And then this is our dynamic, just regular kind of gyro effect. So if I roll upside down, it's not going to be doing nothing unless I'm wiggling. All right, so we know that this is now set up right in our vector, and we're going to fly it initially and trim it right there. Otherwise, all you do is plug it in, wait for the thing to cycle through the beeps. I'll kind of show you here what that looks like. And you can also follow the little LEDs that blink down on the inside on the vector, see what mode you're in. So my radio don't like I did that. Let's plug that back in and watch it cycle. There you go. Now you're ready for flight. Controls are all set up, vector set up right, battery, CG is done. Let's get it out to maiden it. All right, everybody, and there you have it. That was the unboxing and the assembly of the 850mm Arrows Hobby P51 from Hobby Zone. Again, affiliate link is down below. Assembly on this was super fast. I mean, we drew it out in the video a little bit, but ultimately 10 minutes you can have this thing put together. Maybe another 10 minutes for programming and setup if you haven't done it before, but this video should help you to get through that very quickly. Again, I'm Brendan. This is Just Plain Crazy. You guys are just plain crazy for hanging out. I appreciate every one of you. If you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, you're going to hit the thumbs down. Definitely give me 2 of those. Like, share, subscribe, all that cool shameless plug stuff. Don't forget to check out our official pages on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Keep your eyes open because the maiden video for this has been released at the same time. Again, head on over to Hobby Zone to check yours out. Now, on the bench, again, before we wrap up here, this is the 1100mm and this is the 850 that was just released. So some of the cool things in recap: 4-blade prop. We have the navigation lights at the end, CG marks on there. We have some cool panel lines and details, steerable tail wheel, super fast assembly, and let's not forget the cool latch assembly for the canopy, which is nice, and the slidable battery tray. With that being said, 3-cell 2200 is what worked best for me to put in here. Very typical battery that we use on the night radio and stuff. So I'm done here. I'm going to get outside and get to flying this thing. I hope you join me for the maiden. Thanks much. Peace out and happy flights.